This is Giovanni Di Stefano for SLI Media on June the 13th, 2009. Now, today I'm going to give you an update on the case of Dr. Hawley Crippen. Now, very briefly, we know that Dr. Crippen was convicted of the murder of his wife, Cora Crippen, and of course I use the word Cora because I've received some criticism from ITV News that I got the name wrong last time I did an update. So it's Cora Crippen. He was convicted in 1910 and he was subsequently executed in November. That appeared to be the end of the matter until, of course, 100 years on, when the Michigan State University scientists found and managed to produce DNA results that the remains found in the house where Dr. Crippen lived, and the basis of the conviction were not those of Cora Crippen, and even worse, earlier, a little bit last year, Dr. Ferran, with some new technology, found that the gender of the remains were of a male and not a female. So that is just a brief outline of the case there. Now, the Commission, I filed an application with the Criminal Cases Review Commission, and saying that this conviction needs to be referred to the Court of Appeal. They have replied to me on the 8th of June, very helpful letter, let me say, there. One of the things that has to be overcome in any appeal, of course, historic appeal, because of course you can go back hundreds of years and you can make appeals about anything there, is there a living relative which can sit in the place of the accused, the defendant, the appellate, call it what you want, and advance the appeal? That's section 44A of the Criminal Appeal Act, 1968 and 1995. Now, of course, there is a third generation relative, James Crippen, who has instructed me to make the application there. And so what I've said to the Criminal Cases Review Commission, of course, looking carefully at the situation there, section 44A 3C states the following: any other person appearing to the Court of Appeal to have, by reason of a family or similar relationship with the dead person, a substantial financial or other interest in the determination of a relevant appeal relating to him. Now, of course, I've immediately homed in on the other interest. In my view, other interest cannot preclude a family affection or the reputation of the family, what in legal terms, in Latin, is iusdem generis. And of course, it's a statutory interpretation which can't restrict the wider interpretations of what other interests can be. And so, in my view, that is the situation. Now, further, in an unusual fashion, what the Commission have asked is this: do your instructions include any alternative hypothesis for the presence of the human remains? Well, who cares? But remember that the remains were found wrapped in the pyjamas that were known to be those of Cora Crippen. Now, let's look at this logically. If the remains are male and the results are correct, which they are, no one has disputed it, how on earth were the pyjamas of the supposedly dead person, Cora Crippen, found to be with the remains? Now, so what I've said to the Commission is either, I don't want to go down that road, they were planted by a corrupt police, or alternatively, could it be that Cora Crippen had killed one of her many lovers and had buried part of him in the cellar? Could it be that? Now, it's the first time in history that the defence have had to provide an alternative situation. In the criminal courts, you're accused of an offence, and that is the end of the matter. You don't have to prove a damn thing. All you have to prove is that you did. In fact, you don't have to prove anything. It's for the prosecution to prove that you did it there. However, in this case, the Commission are asking purely as a obiter, if you like, by the wayside, what on earth were remains doing there. So that is the position as we stand today. I have replied in that fashion there. It's available on our website, the correspondence. And this is a case that will go back to the Court of Appeal Criminal Division, because this man is innocent of murder. He certainly didn't kill his wife. And as Lord Ulverston, the Lord Chief Justice, who miraculously presided over the trial, said, directed the jury accordingly. If these are the remains of a man, Dr. Crippen is entitled to walk from the dock. Well, he didn't walk from the dock. He was executed wrongly. And it's our role on behalf of the family, and we're getting there, to take it back to the Court of Appeal for the name of Crippen to be cleared, because Crippen is synonymous with everything that is evil in doctors, but not this Crippen. And Dr. Crippen's family are entitled to justice, even though it's 100 years on. This is Giovanni Di Stefano from SLI Media on Dr. Crippen.